This first piece that I want to share with you is sort of an experiment for me. I didn't even know what to call it because it's not really a story. But thank you for indulging me. I'd like to share this with you. I was pen pals for the last 4 years with a woman who had lived with my only aunt like 30 some years ago. The relationship ended poorly. This is a letter. This would have been my last letter to Nelda. Dear Nelda, we've come full circle now. Remember our beginning? A sweet birthday card sent to my Aunt Dorothy that was forwarded to me. A card sent every year, probably only this year. Dorothy had passed away a few months before. And after 30 years, no one had even thought you would care. No one let you know. I sent you a note explaining who I was and that you and I had met in the mid-'80s when my family and I visited Dorothy at the farm you two shared. I filled in the details of her death and wrote how fondly I remembered that farm visit and how warm she was to me and my family. Even my children noticed you were more interested in them than Aunt Dorothy was. You wrote back right away, and so started our 4-year pen pal experience. Often your letters were filled with the pain and anger that you felt when Dorothy asked you to leave the farm. 30 years of anger and pain, still so close to the surface. You didn't paint a pretty picture of my aunt. I wasn't surprised. I too had seen that part of her. Your letters were also filled with stories of your travels and your life in New York, singing in little clubs in the village. You wrote of your love of the ocean. Your letters were exotic and charming and came every 10 days. You wanted to read about my farm and often would ask, "Tell me a story." If I didn't write back quickly, your next letter would ask, "Was I breaking up with you too?" In the next year's letters you wrote often about what a shame it was we hadn't kept in touch, and vague references to your age and health issues. In the last year, your letters grew shorter and farther apart. You said you had shared my contact information with the staff at your assisted living home so they could contact me if something happened. You didn't want one of my letters returned marked deceased. But last week, that's exactly what happened. I wasn't surprised. You had only written 6 letters in that last year. When I read the handwritten note above the official post office sticker, I actually laughed, thinking you would have found it funny that deceased was misspelled. When I read the word deceased, I saw you floating on the Pacific coast breeze above your beloved ocean. We've come full circle. Thank you. And I feel awkward here. This one is one of the many poems that I've written either about my husband or to my husband. My husband is one of Illinois' exonerated death row inmates, was released from prison in 1996. We still struggle, he still struggles with PTSD from his 3.5 years of being in Statesville, accused of a double murder that he didn't do. This is untitled. Memories that whooshed like dragon's wings are silent now. What haunted you has faded into mist. The dragon sleeps tonight, my love. The dragon sleeps tonight. No need to fear. You are stronger now. The talons cannot pierce your heart. You are safe tonight, my love. You are safe tonight. Comfort and rest I offer you. Rest here in my arms. The dragon sleeps tonight. He cannot harm you here. My tears have stilled his fiery breath. The dragon sleeps tonight. Thank you.